lot of people were walking around, weeping like sores over the death of the great inventor, Laszlo Perkinson. You would have thought he invented gin. Someone at headquarters didn't think Dr. Perkinson's death looked natural. I've seen death, and it's the most natural thing in the world, no matter how it's administered. Detective Murples, homicide. You look very familiar.
You look very familiar yourself.
Now that we got that out of the way, you got a boss around here?
Well, lucky for you, Mr. Peabody is working late tonight.
Lucky for me, you're working late.
I work late a lot.
Maybe you should get an assistant.
Maybe you'd like to apply. This is Detective Murples, Homicide Squad.
Sit down. I've never spoken to anyone from the Homicide Squad before.
Lucky. Most of us have bad breath. Are you happy that Laszlo Perkinson is dead?
What kind of question is that?
A simple one.
The man was a giant in the field.
Giants leave big galoshes to fill. Maybe you thought your feet were cold. You were rivals. Bitter rivals.
Is there any other kind? We were partners first, you know. It started with Kennedy's speech back in '62. The Soviets had already embarrassed us once.
When they invented the blanket. I remember. That monkey looked awful cozy.
Kennedy wanted something big in response. Something that would kick the Reds right in the Bolsheviks. For we scientists, it was a race to see who could discover it first. The new way of resting one's head. Of course, throughout the civilized world, up until then, people would simply cut out a shrubbery or a bush when it was time to go to sleep. But Kennedy's mandate inspired scientists from all over America to hit the hay for science. None were more dedicated than Dr. Perkinson and I.
But it was Dr. Perkinson who invented it.
He got the credit for it.
What does that mean?
Let's talk about something else. You, for instance. You look very familiar.
Must be the man named Mug. Where were you the night of July 2nd, Doctor?
Home. Sleeping.
Just you and one of your pillows, right?
Get out.
Do you like working for this character doll?
It's Jean Bosco. And I think it's quite an honor to work for someone so intimately connected with the invention of the pillow. Don't you think?
And nothing against pillows.
You know, it was quite a different world before the pillow. I remember slumber parties were entirely different. Cookie sheet fight! Yeah! Woo! Oh!
If you're such a connoisseur, I've got a few nice pillows back at my place.
Poor things.
The secretary could file me under interested, but her boss had shed about as much light as the sturgeon. It was time to offer the widow a shoulder to leak on. You were with him since the beginning, Mrs. Perkinson. You must have been proud.
Relieved is more like it, Detective Murples. I tried to scrape by on whatever work I could get as a substitute teacher, but Twin Cities teachers hardly missed a day. How poor we were, and how he sweated over it. The false starts, the failures, that poor research subject.
I'm just not sure the calculations support this, Dr. Peabody.
Nonsense! A simple gelatin mold made fresh every day, soft and comfortable for the cranium.
This seems awfully forced, Dr. Peabody.
Silence, Dr. Perkinson.
Oh, I'm feeling a little sick, Doctor.
What made you think this would work?
Just wanted to see a boy lay on a fish.
After the research subject died, Laszlo abandoned hope. I've seen it before in full-time teachers. Giving up. That's when substitute teachers step in and save the day. No one notices us. No one knows our name. But we get the job done. Quietly.
I can't do it. I can't even sleep. Even if I had the thing I'm supposed to be inventing, I couldn't sleep.
You've got to keep trying. I'm here for you. I'll cook for you. I'll listen to you. I'll clean up all of your messes.
And then the breakthrough?
One more false start. Peabody thought he had finally done it.
I don't understand. It's a bag full of ducks and geese.
Precisely! Their soft feathers will provide just the perfect surface for me to rest my head upon. Yes, such perfect softness. Yeah, oh, but a little bit. Ah! Ah, the beaks! The beaks! Impossible.
Peabody quit that day. Laszlo began to pack up the lab, but first he had to get rid of that foul bag.
And sweet dreams ever after.
More or less, until now.
The money must be some comfort.
You don't know much about women, do you, Detective?
Not the ones who still have pulses, Mrs. Perkinson. Can I get the records of who visited your husband the day he died?
At the lab, there is no record. He was between secretaries after Jean quit.
Jean?
Jean Bosco, his personal assistant, she resigned a few days before he died.
Got some bad bacon, Mrs. Perkinson. Can't let you do that, doll.
You don't understand. He killed Dr. Perkinson. I did not. You'll make him go easy on me, won't you?
Tell it to the pillow. I'm not that soft. Bosco and Peabody each blamed the other. I figured they were in it together until something went sour. I didn't care. Mostly I felt bad for Mrs. Perkinson. If only I could find a twist who'd cook for me, listen to me, clean up all my messes, love me for Murples.
That's when substitute teachers step in and save the day. Clean up all your messes. No one notices us. Clean up all your messes. But we get the job done.
Eureka!
Quietly.
Look very